and welcome to another episode of Inside the Barrel. This time we have a special guest, Jace from Jace.pro. And he's going to talk to us about some side project he's been working on. And let's go. Let's do this.
Sweet. Thanks for having me on, Jon and Dorian. I'm a big fan.
Oh, good.
I have a first question.
Dorian, we've got a fan, Dorian.
What's in the Christmas boxes behind you?
I can't divulge the secrets. I know my daughter wouldn't watch this, but they watch a lot of YouTube. And if I said it on here and she found out, my wife would be crushed.
So, Dad, I was watching YouTube and stumbled across this video cast, and you were talking about the presents.
It's true.
So that's how you get your view numbers up. You just tell your daughters to go and check it.
Get all your school friends to watch me on YouTube. See, my kids are all like, you do a YouTube channel? And I'm like, yeah. What's on it? Oh, stuff. It would bore you to death. It's not very cool.
Well, let's make this one not boring. Let's jump right into it.
All right.
So
let's do it.
We're talking about ScribeMonster.
Woo!
What do you guys think it is? Have you guys looked at it at all?
I have it installed, actually.
Oh, well, Dorian, have you looked at it at all?
I have not installed it.
What do you think it does? Without looking it up.
Yeah. So judging by the name, I would say it writes stuff for you.
Yeah, that's exactly the point.
And it writes a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, it may be wrong. It may be right. I'm working on that, but it's a ServiceNow extension. Or it's a Chrome extension that you can use that adds a button to certain script dialogues in ServiceNow. And then it'll ask you if you want to explain what the code does, if you want to have it generate new code based on a prompt, or edit existing code based on a prompt.
Awesome.
That's what it does right now. So kind of like client scripts, script includes, and business rules is what it's scoped to at the moment. But should we just dive into it?
Yeah, show us. I got
let me toss this up. I'll try to be as quick as possible. I made a new profile in Chrome.
Ooh.
Where is the share button? I don't want to share everything. I just want to share this tiny window. Can you guys see this tiny yellow window?
Yes, we can.
All right, let's get this thing started. So we're just gonna go to scribe.monster. Right? If it's a little bit bigger of a screen, you can see a thing here, but it's not there right now.
Stew. Ooh.
Yeah, I gave it a name and everything.
Nice. I love it.
Right? It's got a video. It's got 52 users. It's only been out like 2 weeks, guys. Not even.
Wow. One of those is me.
I think 15 of those are me, but
you know what we should do is go check the SN utils and see how many users they have.
Oh, it's thousands.
Thousands, but not like hundreds of thousands, right? It's just
all right. So this here can read and change the data on all ServiceNow.com sites and all ServiceNowServices.com sites. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep. What's that?
Well, I was going to say, do you have plans to handle custom URLs?
I don't have that in the because it takes longer to approve when you make changes on the Chrome Web Store. I wasn't going to add it soon, but we'll get there. So when it's added, it looks like this little icon that you see from there. And I'm not going to turn on sync for right now because I'm not really authenticated. There's no real user here. So I'm just going to pin it, and let's just take a look at it when I'm not on the website. So here it's like, okay, ScribeMonster, you need an account. So to get one, you got to go to ScribeMonster.com, and you got to get your username and key. All right, let's do that. So if I go back to ScribeMonster, sign up. And we're going to say that I am Stu.
I like that your default is Deckard Cain.
That's just the filler text. It's just giving you an idea of like what you might put in.
I keep thinking of the only Decker I know. It comes from what's that movie? Oh my gosh, Blade Runner.
Oh, it made a user up here. It says, "Hey, go get your key. It's in the top right. It's in your profile." So I don't have it land on the profile when you log in, and that's okay. And I'm gonna delete this account when we're done. So I'm just gonna copy this key.
I wanted a free key.
Right?
In the amount of time between doing this and deleting that account, people will the ones.
If you make a
with
typo,
viewers,
it'll tell you invalid key.
ones.
Oh, by the way, we can't see when you actually click on the Chrome extension to fill in, which
you
is
know
okay.
What? No. I got this.
Okay.
let me just. I made a pop out in the
Oh,
advanced. I just have to change what we're sharing. Where is the share button? Window pop out. Is it seeing the new screen? There it is.
Yes,
so when you click on the extension, this comes up. If you type in the wrong username and password, it'll tell you, "Hey, invalid key."
and I'm assuming you do this to just manage like rate limiting or something like that, so bots don't try to use it.
Well, I'm using my own OpenAI account, so it actually has a cost to me. I'm not sure how I'm going to limit this, but I will limit it eventually and make some way for it to work. But if you want to pop out,
so we can make Jace pay for this if we continue to use it all day long.
I'm going to see how the usage happens. Well, right?
Business expense.
Anyways, in the extension, there's only 2 tabs. There's settings and animate. You can ask it something like, I don't know, what's a question you guys have? Bernie, what are in the presents behind me? It's not going to know, but it'll guess, right? And this is saved to your Chrome data. I don't store any prompts and responses. I just store that a request was made and how many tokens it took. There are 3 presents behind you. Wait, what?
I was like, wow, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
At first, this is not like this is green paper, right? So I mean, so it's going to give you answers. This is just an unfettered access to the DaVinci 3 model or something.
Okay.
I've been messing with this, but I can modify how it's asked. So like I have one, I can change a setting on my back end and it'll ask it like a pirate or respond like a pirate. Like there's just fun things you can do. I haven't figured out how I'm going to add that to the extension if I'm going to add it there. But that's all you can do in the extension. Let me pop back into the browser. That is not the right thing. Yep, here we go. Are you guys back on the browser?
Yes.
All right, let's go to an instance because where it really shines is on an instance. If I can just remember how to log in. I should have like pre-logged in.
Oh, I hope it's awake because you know what's going to happen.
Oh, it is awake. I checked it earlier. So I pre-favorited a client script and a business rule just like so I don't have to go look one up. So this client script, right? It's on incident. It's an on change. It's when, what does it do? It says if the record is not new, exit. If the value is not changed, or if the value is empty or blank, unset location. Otherwise, if the form has location, get the user's locations and set it. Let's see if this explains it that same way. So this is the dialog comes up when you press the button. You can write a script, edit a script, or explain a script. Let's just have it explain. And then it gets this emoji progress bar.
Nice.
Is that from the API? Or is that
No, I wrote the emoji. I wrote the emoji thing. Oh, it's too big.
Okay.
The response is too big. Right, so it says, hey, the function is triggered when the value of the control form is changed. All right, and then if the form's loading or if the function is triggered as live update, the function does nothing. Right, that's kind of what I said. So like it totally explains this in a somewhat coherent way. right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
I have to zoom out because it's so big. I'll have to add a thing so it doesn't do that.
Or make the window go wider, right? Like
Something. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
working on. Oh, of course, we're just gonna refresh the page because it doesn't store it in memory. It just presents it on the page. So if you refresh, it's gonna not be there. But I don't have it cleared out when you press it. So let's say we want to edit the script. So it was setting location. Let's tell it to set something else. What might we have? Maybe set the assignment group.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's set the assignment group when the location, or so it set the assignment group when the, what was it was changing? Location, I thought, right? Yeah. When location changes. Set the assignment group to the
support
on-site,
desk.
or sure, the support desk. And location. I mean, you don't need typos, but I don't know if it matters a whole lot. I'm sure it does some. But it's gonna
secretly judging you in the background if you have typos.
It's gonna it should have been an update. Now it's hard to tell what just did. Let's see, Control Z, Control Y. So,
Wow.
Oh, it replaced location.
Instant feature request here. Can it preview the script that you're gonna change to before?
I'm working on that. I'm gonna be adding the Monaco editor so you can see a diff.
Ooh.
And then you can accept it with a button, but it's more complicated,
right?
right? But that's kind of cool,
nice.
right?
That's good. That's real nice.
All right. So let's say we were like, well, you know what? Actually,
I like it.
I don't want this at all. I want a new one. So client scripts are kind of special. I've done extra stuff with client scripts so that it has like really great answers. So we're gonna keep picking on client scripts for a minute.
I think another thing I'm thinking is you may want to have it add like a comment saying that this was generated by AI.
I like it. That's good.
Yeah.
Because someone, well, it doesn't matter. Someone's gonna be in there like, no, I didn't write this with AI.
But it's okay if they delete it, right? I'm not saying like force it forever, but like at least when they're using it, like it adds the comment.
So I'm gonna pick on change. It matters because I actually tell it for client scripts like what type of thing it is, and if your script is different. So if you tell it to write a new script, it needs to know that it's an on change or on load or on submit. Otherwise, it won't necessarily get the right stuff back. So what's like something we might write in a client script when something changes? Like maybe, I don't know, remove when the short description set, remove any swear words.
Okay, or like mask, replace social security number.
Oh, here we go. So
like replace
because this is on change script, right? I'm just gonna say when the short description changes, mask any social security number.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be
right?
good.
I haven't pre-tested this. You guys are giving me live stuff here. It didn't do what I asked it to do, right?
That's okay.
It cleared a message. Change in the short description. Old is that this is not helpful. Let's try this again.
This will not do what I want.
Mask.
Maybe replace the short description with stars when it sees social security.
Any social security number with.
Yeah.
Ooh, is this going to be like you got to get your Google foo down to work with?
I mean, you got to know how to talk to it.
You got to know how to ask. Yeah, you got to know how to ask.
See, it's just setting it. It doesn't. I don't think I had a whole lot of replace stuff in my corpus that I trained it on for these.
Okay.
But you can see it's shedding the short description, right? I can do when the short description changes, if it has any numbers in it, mask them or replace them with stars, right?
Yeah.
Let's just try it one more time. Yeah, see, it's not doing it.
Sweet.
I didn't have anything to do like mass replacement in the set, but maybe you wanted to have it do like a
that's a little advanced because it would have to generate a regex and stuff
A
like that,
regex.
though, wouldn't it?
right.
Is it capable of doing that?
I mean, the regular one, I'll show you in business rules in a minute. It might be able to, because it's more loose, but also it doesn't necessarily know ServiceNow stuff as well. Because I haven't fine tuned it. Like here, we'll do it probably one more time. When a short description changes, set the assignment group to the. I don't want to say something specific.
To the tier 1. I don't know, to tier 1.
To the tier 1, just tier 1 support for the logged in users region. Right? So like you might have to do like a glide Ajax or something, and they can do that kind of stuff. Yeah, see, it's just not doing it. But
so what you're saying is we're still safe with our jobs, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I've been messing with this a bunch, like a ton. Right? If I try this out on a business rule, those are bad business rules to pick on.
So another feature request is maybe like save previous prompts somewhere.
Yeah, I added that for the ask me anything part, but I haven't added that here. It's Chrome extensions coding is a lot different than all the other coding. And I'm trying to be very privacy centric. Like I don't want to, because I'm actually modifying the prompt that is being used in some cases, or using a private model to generate stuff.
How does the prompt in the back end like get saved? Like, because let's say you're using this on a client's instance, right? Like you're passing in client or potentially IP, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can show you what's stored right now if you'd like, but right now I don't store anything about the prompt or the response.
Cool.
I don't have any intentions to store anything about the prompt or the response. I do store what type of thing you asked it to do. So if you say, write a new one, edit one, or explain one, I store that. I store the table it's on because sometimes that makes a difference in what's available.
Mm-hmm. So you just may run into then custom tables that have client names in it, right? Potentially.
If they made a custom table with a client name. I do plan to like let all those things should all be an opt-in feature, not an opt-out, but I haven't gotten there yet.
That's cool.
I would like to store prompts and responses when people say that they're great and they would like to use this to continue training.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not there yet, and I don't know how to do that in a way that's not concerning.
Makes sense. Cool.
Right? So like this is a business rule. Business rules work a little bit different because it uses a different backend, right? Or a different model. So this business rule today, it doesn't matter what it is. We can tell it to do whatever else. It doesn't really matter. The write new doesn't care what's in the current script.
Mm-hmm.
So what should we have this business rule do?
Does it understand current and what is it, previous?
So this is untrained. I add extra stuff to the prompt, and it takes some of this very first line, if I remember right, to give it like an idea of like how the script should be written. Mm-hmm. I want to say it breaks on the space, or maybe it breaks on the curly brace, right? So that it knows like where to start from. But like let's make a business rule. It says when assigned to, or not when assigned, I think if I keep picking assigned to, let's say when computer is on on legal hold. Create a audit record. Right? I don't know what it's gonna do, but let's just see what it does. Right. So right now it's not replaced. It didn't do the right stuff. I feel like it's falling on its face.
I mean, it's just cool that it's writing code, you know, like
Yeah.
I think the preview is gonna help a lot.
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not doing all the things it should do. I only gave it a set of 100, and I probably could have made that corpus better. But what's really neat is when you tell it to do stuff like add JS docs.
Oh man, that's gonna be great.
Right, and like these more common things.
Yeah, super cool.
Right, like if I go to,
can you tell it to write a unit test? Ooh.
Let's see. Right,
you'll make Dorian's Christmas if you can do that, or if it does work.
I mean, I don't know how it's gonna test it, but we'll see.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, is this right for what you do?
I mean, it's like a pretty standard.
Describe it. Yeah. I'm familiar with the describe and the it stuff, but like, it's defining the current and the previous, I suppose.
You're not also. Are you on a Tokyo instance? I'm curious why the cons it's yelling at you.
Oh, I'm on a Tokyo instance.
Really?
A server side, if I'm not in a scope, global is.
Oh, you're right. You're in global. Yeah, like cool.
That whole thing is a mess with global and this stuff.
Can you tell it to write it in ES5 compatible script?
Right, unit test in ES5 compatible in ES5 JavaScript.
Yeah, because if
I can't spell compatible.
Well, so this is ES5, but you should have it like do like write a flatten array or something like that, like flatten array in ES5.
Flatten, right? So this is supposed to be the edit. So it's supposed to take the code that you have in context. So the code actually goes up with the edit because it has to know the code. Yeah, let me tell it to write new. I mean, it's still not, I don't know what it's doing.
We broke it.
but it's cool. It's a thing. Cool. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. No, it's really cool, man. When ChatGPT came out, I was just like all over it. I was throwing ServiceNow code in it all the time.
All over it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, let me
thing.
Can I share what I have in the back and not expose stuff?
That's a you question. So the thing is I can hide things on and off stream. So you just have to tell me when to put it on and when to take it off.
Can you blur sections of a screen?
That's too fancy for me. But I'll give you a clap for trying. So.
You know what? I can share. Give me a second.
Yeah, that ChatGPT, man, it was all over LinkedIn. Everyone's talking about it, and I even signed up to play around with it for a minute because it looked kind of fun.
I mean, that's what intrigued me to make look into OpenAI. So I'm gonna share what I collect, so you guys are kind of seeing that stuff because I think that's important to be as transparent as possible. And because all of the most recent requests are from me, like it's gonna just be that stew monster.
Let me know when you want me to share it.
Oh, I'm good. It's all I already checked it. So I'm logged in as me. I have admin access because it's I'm paying for everything. I get to look at everything. But like I have this table where it says, hey, this stew monster made a complete request and it consumed 501 tokens or 307. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Wow. And the way that OpenAI's stuff works is you pay per token.
Yeah, and it's not cheap on a DaVinci. maybe.
No, I mean it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
1,000 tokens is at most 2 cents on untrained models. So
Okay.
And what does a token represent though? Like
up to 4 characters or a word. It's not concise. There's not a good way to measure it. I try to estimate the ask when you ask it to do something, and then I'll tell you if it's too big for it to handle. Because
Makes
there's
sense.
technical limits on the models on how much it can handle.
And how do you train the models today?
Well, so I've only trained for the client scripts. So you
Mhm.
have to build a prompt and a completion. So you build like the prompt you would put in, and then what the perfect outcome of that prompt would be. And you give it a bunch of these things. And then it'll find the things that are like between them
Mhm.
and replace what it needs to and rewrite it appropriately. So if you wanted aware of like the G form stuff, like I added, like when I did the client scripts, I made sure to list out every method across like 100 client scripts that I wrote.
Makes sense. Cool.
Right. So like I plan to do the same for like server side scripts, but things get wonky when you start thinking like flow designer actions.
Oh,
And
it's
like
just like
mail
complex
scripts.
objects.
Well, like they're just different things are available in different places.
Yeah.
Right.
Some documented, some not.
Right. Like on like mail scripts, right? You have access to an email object, which isn't available anywhere else.
Yep.
Right. And then you have like the weird render properties, the RP object that's available, the UI actions and conditions in business rules. But I don't know. I've been playing with a whole bunch of different ways to like try to figure it out, and I'm still learning. But this is my way of learning. I build stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of us get that way. You know, that's how I learn stuff. I either build or I break, and then rebuild.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not really storing a whole lot. Like I said, all that's on this record is the tokens, the response tokens, and I tell it to calculate the total because that's what I get, and that's what I store today. But I do want to allow people to submit prompt training. Right now, there's an error; it doesn't show anything. But I haven't added that to the extension, and I may just leave it out of the extension. It may be a separate extension because making the training data is actually really painful. Because you have to like tell it to make it all one line, and then you have to like reformat you have to tell it what the prompt is and what the completion is, and then do it in one line. But yeah, it's just difficult.
It reminds me like the VS Code extension. One of my favorite command palettes is like make all one line or expand it. So,
yeah. But now you guys have seen it. Dorian, you hadn't seen it before. What's your opinion of it? I mean, obviously there's some problems with it.
No. So I'm instantly thinking like this could save me so much time, right? Like if you think about the amount of time it takes me to go to the business rule table, to set all these settings up, and then like enter a right script, like in theory, this could be like click scribe, write me a business rule, and then like, do X, Y, and Z, and it could, pre-write most of it for you. So
yeah, I mean, it's going to be wrong some of the time. It's not going to be exactly right, but it'll get you started. I think that a lot of benefits added by starting somewhere. Like when I was working on the extension, I was like, oh man, how do I save something, but I don't want to like send it anywhere? Like, how do I, in the extension pop-up, that body doesn't have any access to anything on the page. If you want to send stuff back and forth between those two, you have to use like a service worker, right? And it has to have like a message queue. It's quite complicated, right? But I was like, how do I do this? And I was trying to like figure out, how do I tell it to not run to ScribeMonster when I'm developing it? So how do I identify if I'm locally installed or if I'm from the store? And so I was like, write me a function that a Chrome extension is locally installed in the content script or whatever, right? Like whatever. I did. And it pointed me to the right API points. Like I couldn't find it. I looked at the API docs. And I think that's really the benefit. If it can actually point you to the right place to look, I think that's going to
Totally.
be huge.
Yeah.
If you understand that it's generated by AI and that the code may be wrong.
Like,
Yeah. No, I think for me, like, you know, you want to go learn something and you get stuck with the hello world, right? How many hello worlds have you built? But it doesn't really teach you anything in my mind. It's always cookbook type recipes that you're after, because it's like, well, I want to use this language, but I really just want to do this, you know? And so you're trying to go find how to do this. And if you can get a shortcut to get that recipe versus having to like start with the hello world, you know, all that stuff, because you're like, I get that, I understand that part of it, but I'm really, you know, my questions are more advanced now because of how long I've been developing.
Right.
It's just a new language, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's neat.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a huge benefit.
Yeah, I do really want to dive into custom trainings. Like right now I'm training on like generic data for an instance. But wouldn't it be cool if like a company is like, hey, Jace, can you make a custom model for our data in our instance based on this script includes and these scopes?
Dude, you have a business right there. Literally, what you're describing. Like,
Right? And I know how to do it. I don't know how to do it well. I'm still learning. But
Yeah.
you know, like I don't know if Cask has any scoped apps that they like sell on the store. Right?
We do,
But I mean, if those scoped apps have scripting in them that have special objects that have different documentation, like wouldn't it be cool if you could just add a button to your extension and make the call without, not even with the extension, had a button in the app to make a call to the extension or the endpoint I have, or to your own endpoint to like get the data. Like,
yeah, I mean, like the amount of AI assists, I'll call them, like business
I didn't
ideas out
realize
there.
how big OpenAI was.
Yeah.
Do you know what OpenAI is used in?
Neuralink.
Have you ever heard of GitHub Copilot?
Copilot, like airplane copilots?
No, GitHub Copilot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Powered by OpenAI.
OpenAI. Nice.
Have you heard
So
of
they have.
Grammarly?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Canva?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, OpenAI like has been around for a long time, right? Like I remember them when they were like beating pros in Dota, like trying to like train a model that says this is how you win the game, and then just let it play, and it would like lose. So like it lost like hundreds of thousands of times before it could like actually beat a real human.
Well, that's what I think is kind of cool about, you know, GitHub. It had, you know, they're feeding it all the scripts that are in GitHub to train it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And who didn't someone post some numbers on that? I think I thought someone.
I don't know. So OpenAI they didn't just pull data from GitHub when they pulled the code. They use this common crawl thing that is available to a whole bunch of AI researchers, which has like 400 or 500 gigabytes of just flat text that is constantly being updated from the web and other sources. And then they use that to train the data with like subsets of that data, which is kind of crazy to think about it. I
think that one of the coolest things that I saw was someone fed it like medical board exams and LSAT exams, and it's like able to pass like these exams.
I mean, I don't want to be worked on by an AI doctor remotely yet.
I don't think it's
submachine coming in at you.
I think it's just interesting because a lot of those fields are around memorization versus and like if you don't have that skill to memorize, but maybe you have the critical thinking skill.
How much does it cost for the AI doctor versus the regular? We're talking U.S. insurance here.
Yeah. I just think like that's gonna be like any memorization based field, it's gonna get so much help from AI to do a lot of the work to find it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different ways I want to like try to do things. Like, I don't know. There's so many different ways to do things. If you saw how Copilot works in GitHub, like as you type, it makes suggestions based on like your last couple lines. I think I'm not exactly sure. I don't think it sends the whole document when you're typing every time, but it has to do something. Like maybe it gets the variables and sends the variables in addition to the current line.
Yeah,
But
I'm not sure
isn't
how
that
that
what
underpinning works.
I mean, is that just a more fancy IntelliSense though? Like I'm just thinking of like, your run of the mill IDE is going to eventually get to that point where you're typing and it's just going to look at what you've currently done or already done and present suggestions based on that. Because I would love that, but does Copilot? I think that costs, doesn't it? It's got a charge to it.
Yeah, it's like $8 a month now.
Mm.
I stopped using it when I started charging, but I'm thinking I'm going to pick it back up to help me with my Chrome extension.
Yeah, just steal their stuff.
No.
Keep telling me how to write.
Yeah. Tell me how to write some AI model.
I mean,
how do I write AI models?
Yeah.
I wanted to just take the out-of-box business rules and script includes and client scripts and pipe it into the training data. But the problem is you have to have like prompts that make sense. Like people aren't going to type in the name of a script include or the name of a business rule and get the output that they want. They're going to type in like, do this thing.
Yeah. I
Right?
wonder if there is like, so one thing I think would be helpful is like, let's say you wanted to brand an instance. Like if I'm modifying a record, like maybe tell me what other records I should probably look at after this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how you would tell it to do that, right? So with the AI stuff, there's one-shot asks, multi-shot asks, few-shot anyways. Like that's like using untrained stuff, and then you can fine tune, so you can give it a very specific procedural like prompt with like the custom part of the prompt you want to give it, right? So if you're changing something, like what would you call a brand object, right?
Yeah, I mean, ServiceNow calls them that, like icons. They call it the style, the UX style. Like even just there's just so many tables you have to touch to even like.
If you could identify the tables, it could be done. Like identify the tables and the records, but like attachments aren't anything specific.
Yeah.
Right.
But know that you have to modify the icon or this sys property in order to like change something.
I mean, but at that point, you could actually just write a business rule because it's pretty procedural. Like if you change this thing, you should probably update these other things.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you should, but like that's so procedural. Like I don't know that you'd want to try to train an AI on it. Maybe.
It was just one example, right? Like
I like it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could tell it to make it consistent with these colors, and like it might define the proper names based on the CSS input you give it.
I would love if it's like one thing I would totally use it for is like tell me insert company's name branding styles. So like
it is so crazy what it does already.
Can it figure out the new UI builder CSS for Portal? All those masked CSS components. Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, that's just it, right? So if where do I get to one of those records? Let's walk through it. Let's see what this thing can
Dorian,
do.
where were we messing around with that stuff?
Are we like the AI search shadow?
Yeah.
So I might not have anything enabled here. Where do I go?
This is hard on the spot.
No, it's not those.
I would type in like UX for now, and then let's see what those tables like. Yeah, under the Now framework experience, maybe under building blocks. Yeah, welcome to the fun. I don't even remember where we would go.
Let's just
look at that. They got highlighted values. Are all
go
those
component definitions? Let's go there.
Okay.
So these are essentially all ServiceNow's components that they allow you to see for a given UI page.
And then do you define the styling on the component, the macro component, I guess? So if I
Somewhere
go-
close to. Yeah, we can go into one of them.
So if I go to like agent inbox, say I wanted this to be like bright red because I don't like my agent's eyes. Is it one of these? I don't see a CSS.
I think scroll down. I think there's like a style related. This is probably a bad one.
Right. That's.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is like
Catalog
already,
form might have some weird styling, right?
Yeah, but
I don't see it.
I mean, again, this is like a private app, right? You know, so it's like one of those things that
Yeah.
it gets really tricky.
Well, here, let me add app and see if there's any non-private apps on here. I mean, they're all going to be ServiceNow, but here's one.
Global.
Blank corporate template. I mean, I guess I could do a show matching on this. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe record page template or color
Right.
select row.
Yeah.
Color select row. That sounds, there's a lot of
least be
stuff in
one.
here.
We got
No.
style.
All right. Composition.
Yeah, I mean, even translating what this page actually does. Like,
That requires so much data though,
yeah.
right? Because like think about all the stuff you'd have to send. You'd have to tell it. I mean, I guess out of box ones, you could just tell it the name and like what it extends and maybe, but it's gonna be complicated because like there's to be so many more fetches.
Yeah, go back up to that that box that had keep going.
This one?
That one right there. So go all the way over on that items because I feel like there's styles in there, but I'm just curious as to what. Oh,
I can't scroll.
Oh, so it's only that. So there is really no like. How are they? Yeah, this just goes back to the the great documentation we get.
Well, I know there's a place where you can define like the styles for your instance, which is in like a weird JSON object. Do you guys remember what that is for the new Next experience? It's like themes.
I think it's themes is one place, so you can go into themes,
and then like if I pick on,
you can Polaris, I think, or default is fine.
I'll go to Polaris since we're right there. But like,
and then you go into colors. Just show you. Yeah, click on colors.
Oh my god, this is so difficult. Why?
There you go.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay. So hold on a second. Let me do something. Oh my god, this is so much text. It's gonna fail.
I literally had to just do this, and it was painful.
Well, the problem is this is so long. It's 1,200 lines. Right?
Hey, that just keeps
take the first
just keeps you
100.
employed, right? Doesn't that just keep you employed when you write thousands of lines of text?
But like here, if I do this and I said, hey, I want to redefine
the base ones.
Let's. What color should we go with? Okay, well, rewrite the above JSON so that it rewrite the above JSON using Christmas colors.
Yeah.
So it's that time of year. It's
is it going to
December
understand
15th.
RGB though? Do you think? Because those are all RGB colors.
Are those HSL or RGB?
RGB.
All right. Using should I tell it in RGB?
Yeah,
sure. You got to show that screen though.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to pop it out. I'm so sorry. I forgot already.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
You can't see it. I have
Yeah,
to.
I think me and Dorian spent some time just walking through each one and making changes to see what it did.
Yeah, what we would do is like make a change and then see what it like actually did in the instance. So
All right, so I can make this bigger. I'm gonna get rid of this one, and I'm gonna make this bigger. I'm gonna paste in. So I pasted this question.
yeah,
Rewrite the above JSON using Christmas colors in RGB, and I'm gonna. I
Nice.
pasted in base. I'm just gonna make it actual proper JSON because it's gonna bother me. But let's just see what it does, right? I mean,
it's
I
gonna be
guess
cool.
technically I could upload it as a new theme,
Christmas theme, how fun.
right? It's taken a while. All right, so it gave me back. That's not what it gave me back. Here's what it gave me back. So did it change? 79, 86, 100. That looks exactly the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the same.
Here, you can't see it. I'm comparing it with my other window. Oh, I made it way too big. Sorry about that. 189, 189, 88. It didn't seem to make any changes.
I would
Oh
ask
no, wait. Interactive. No, it's exactly the same.
I think you just describe what the JSON has. So the JSON is like each line represents a color with an RGB.
Each property of the above JSON is an red, green, blue color set. Update these colors to be a Christmas theme.
I like it.
And delete the other one because I do have history on here. But like I said, that saves your Google account, which is kind of cool. So if you log into a different computer that you're on, it'll bring that data over.
That is cool.
All right, so it looks exactly the same to me. I can just kind of see 10, 100, 80, 189, 189, 100, 189, 189, 88. Yeah, it didn't change it. Yeah. Oh, no, wait, sorry. That's the ask. Hold on. Oh, wait. Keep in mind, you don't have to change all the colors, just some of them. What? That's not what I told it to give. Oh, wait, hold on. It did? No, it did not change them. Well, I tried.
Cool, though.
Yeah, it's just kind of neat, right?
I think the future is bright for people that have to write code and want it, because like even if it's fed community posts at some point, like there's like so much data that we're constantly searching community partner portals, and
the problem is we just have to make sure we train it on the data that's right.
Correct.
And then we should also make it clear that what it makes is generated by an artificial intelligence, or machine learning, or autocomplete, whatever you want to call this.
So one fun thing I do is, so we have like a Slack channel that people ask questions, and if someone asks a question in Slack, I just paste it into ChatGPT and see what it says, and then I say, "This is what the AI thought about your question."
You have an invalid question. Change it. Try again.
I think someone was like, "How do you like?" It's something like about like modifying a workbench, and like I pasted into ChatGPT, and it like said like, "Navigate to this page, click the 3 dots, hit customize," and the person replies, "The customize button's not there."
Oh, I should have mentioned I got this from the AI.
Right. I mean, there are some people that are definitely very opposed to these tools, but I think that they're just that. I think they're just tools, and it's not a matter of if we can use them. It's a matter of knowing how to use them, because they're not going to go away.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll only get better. The understanding of how you. It's really going to be how you how you ask the question, and once AI is trained up enough to kind of, get that fuzzy understanding of how humans ask the question. But then, it's going to be different depending on your language too, because our structure is different than
if you're a second
other
if
languages.
if English is your second language, you may put your sentence in
Yeah.
a different order or structure. And
Yeah. But I still think it's just going to get it's only going to get better as more.
Did you guys
training
know that
happens and more-
ServiceNow is partnered with Hugging Face? You might be asking, what's Hugging Face?
Is that one of those
Hugging
figures
Face.
from?
Hugging Face. Here, I'll pull up the post. ServiceNow. Hugging.
It's one of those crab monsters from.
No,
from
it's a
Valve.
place where they founded something. What did they call it? I'll throw my screen up again.
Yeah.
Hugging Face is where people post their models and their other learnings. They called it Big Code. I don't know what's going to come of it, but just recently, right, September 26th, Hugging Face and ServiceNow. So like the models that OpenAI trains on may have initially started on Hugging Face. If you want to write your own stuff and like have a local thing, Hugging Face would be a place to get that data locally. Right? So code generating systems like DeepMind's AlphaCode and Amazon's Code Whisper and OpenAI's Codex, which powers GitHub Copilot, blah, blah, blah. Like they do this stuff. ServiceNow. Like, just give you an idea. Hugging Face, they host stuff for Salesforce and for Microsoft and for other places there that they're using to train up things. So ServiceNow's R&D launched Big Code, which is some other thing. I tried to dig into this. This was before I was looking into it. But like it's a whole thing. So ServiceNow is getting in this space, whether people want them to or not. And who knows what data of customers they're going to use to train this stuff up on.
Yeah,
right?
super cool. I think another thing I like about AI search or the future of it is like reading legal docs. Like if you had to read like, oh, we just lost Jace. All right. Well, that was good. Jace will probably be back. So what's your overall thoughts, John?
I'm excited. Obviously there's some concern that it'll replace humans as a developer, but then I was also thinking, there's that human component. Like when I build a portal, right? There's my special touch that gives it, that I can be like, oh yeah, I did that because that's just me. That's how I do things, and I added my own flair. Can AI ever reproduce that? If it does, then I guess maybe I'll be out of a job.
Well, I mean,
but
have you guys looked at Stable Diffusion at all, or any of these image text to prompt to image generators?
Dude, it's so beautiful. Like I know it's getting a lot of hate. It's getting so much hate right now from artists, but like AI art is like really, really beautiful.
Well, the problem is it's the same problem people have with not the same problem, but the code they trained it on, it wasn't an opt-in situation. They just scraped the web for images. And so they trained this huge model on a ton of images. I don't know how many images, but a ton of images, and used their alt text to do the training. And so now it's like literally casting spells to have it generate art. Because like you have to tell it to use specific words. Like if you say like, draw me a charcoal drawing, or make me a charcoal drawing, or charcoal drawing.
How about we try it? We could do it. I can pull up my Dolly.
Let's see it.
It's OpenAI
Dolly's
too.
not the same, but I mean, I hear you.
It's kind of the same, no?
Yeah, it's kind of the same. But Dolly is behind a proprietary, right? Are you on Dolly.com, or are you on OpenAI or
OpenAI's?
Yeah. But like they control what you can request. With Stable Diffusion, you can run that stuff local. There's no calls out of the network, which is just mind blowing.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I should be able to pull it up real quick.
But like if you ask it to generate you an image, I will give you a couple other keywords and it'll drastically change it.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Jason's
They're
an
like
honorable guy,
spell
so you don't have
modifiers.
to worry. But you don't want to open that up.
All right, here we go. Hit me with it, or should I just click surprise me?
Oh, sure. Do surprise me first
Okay.
to get an astronaut lounging, right? So this is it says pixel art. Okay, sure.
Let's do it.
Right. So now if you just add ArtStation at the end of this, like comma ArtStation, which is a very popular website that artists post their images to. I mean, if you remove pixel art, it's gonna be different. So maybe try it with ArtStation, without ArtStation afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. And like you can name a camera, right? So like those are really great pictures.
Wow. Right? Like
Those are really nice.
Like I'd hang this up on my wall.
If you remove ArtStation now,
Ooh, cyberpunk things.
like those are still really good images. So Dolly has made it really easy to like make great images, but in Stable Diffusion, it's not quite as easy. But it doesn't require anything but your own graphics card.
Gotcha. Cool.
It's just so nuts.
Yeah.
I was playing around with one of those avatar ones last night because someone, I think,
the Lunas AI. Was it Lunas app?
Yeah. And I couldn't get one to even look remotely like me.
I've been waiting to like get a new haircut, and then I'm gonna use it, and like hopefully it like makes it really beautiful. Like I love that stuff.
I tried this. So I have a bearded picture with a hat, and I tried one of those. Oh man, it was it made my beard just look really weird, and it was crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. So before you left us, Jace, we were just kind of giving final thoughts. Like, what are your final thoughts on like where do you want, either AI in general or your extension kind of going in the future?
So I made it more of a learning exercise, and it is costing me something. It's like $15 in server fees to like make the server and have it do things. And then it's the OpenAI fees on top of that. So eventually I'll have to monetize something of it, whether that's an ad or a subscription or whatever. I don't know yet, or buy me a coffee link. But I don't know. I want to continue it. On LinkedIn, there's a post about it, and it goes on for like hundreds of comments. But somebody had said, what you could do? You could like read the code that they send you before you send it to OpenAI and tell them like, this doesn't follow the best practices for these reasons. Kind of like an extension that does an instant scan, right? Across instances, because then you're not locked in, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you can load your own instances. Like it's like you essentially load it with your own best practice, which could just be instant scans that you have access to, and then any instance you go to, like now it's going to load the instant scans.
Yeah, I mean, I started with making a UI action in an instance when I tested this initially. And then I thought, you know what? I don't want to make another thing in ServiceNow because people just can't use it. So I went with the extension route because SNUtils is so popular, right?
Yep.
My favorite.
But I mean, let's say the quiet part out loud. Let's say the quiet thing out loud. ServiceNow should just co-opt all of the features in SNUtils. Why they haven't is beyond me.
So the reason they haven't, my hunch, is because the developer works for ServiceNow.
Sure, but the developer can do anything he wants with that code.
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you. But like, what is buying out some work that your employee already does? You know?
He did it before he worked it though.
No, totally. But I mean, like, from their eyes, they're like, I'm already paying this person.
I mean, the benefit
Yeah,
is
but
clear,
well, yeah.
right?
There's way
Like,
more
yes.
benefit on S and U tills, and could you imagine if that was with every instance?
It'd be really nice.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it wouldn't be a lot of work, in my opinion, to make that happen because the code's already there.
Mhm.
You know?
And so then I think the same thing's going to come to you, right? Let's say you start monetizing this and just figure out an easy way to monetize it. Maybe ServiceNow will come to you and say, I'll buy it. You're doing all the hard work.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
if I
isn't
build
that-
these
isn't that
models,
isn't that what that big code thing is, though? I mean, that's kind of where they're headed, isn't it? They're going to just scrape all the instances out there.
I don't know.
train-
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
not
Train an
clear to
AI.
me what they're doing with big code.
Well, if they're not, then they're really missing. They're
I
missing
think-
the game.
I
Well,
think
they might be doing other things. Like, there's a lot of non-code use cases for the AI. Like,
Yeah.
ServiceNow added what machine learning, the category selection, like years ago, right?
Mhm.
And you need to give it like 10,000 plus incidents for it to even develop the context to like know that stuff. Well, like AI is way different now. Like I can tell OpenAI to train on 200 like things, short descriptions, and it might code it properly or give it JSON payloads, and you can like fine tune it appropriately.
Yeah.
Like
They've fixed some of that. I think if I remember correctly, similar users is less than
10. It's 10.
Yeah, it's 10 records now. So they're not sitting on it, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
They're updating and getting things moving.
I think one thing though, Jace, and this is just me playing fake lawyer. Like you probably want some sort of privacy policy in there.
I have one on there.
Okay, perfect.
If you go to
And then-
/privacy, and like I said, and I've said it before, I have no intentions, and I'm debating whether or not I should just open source the extension so it's clear what's going where.
And then the other thing I was gonna say though is like you may actually want to be storing the instance it comes from or it's being used on in like a sys somewhere. Because what you don't want to do is like get into some like, oh, Jace's thing wrote this, or someone tries to sue you and you're like, well, you use this extension, you signed this privacy policy or this terms of service, like you knew what this was, and maybe you like hash it or right some way. And
I don't store where it comes from. Like it's literally just in and out. Like I just the only thing I store.
I think what he's saying though is someone uses your extension, writes some scripts, and it wipes out a prod instance. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm like, well, Jace's AI. You know, his monster did it. It's all his fault.
I think the other thing is the reason, and like again, like hash it right in some way, so it's not like PII, but the other thing is like there's your like business model to sell. Like, hey, I've had 500 different instances, use this, or 500 different customers use this. Like there's obviously value here. ServiceNow, buy it from me. So
yeah,
I think I'm excited. I'm
excited for it too. It's just it's interesting, right? Because it's just all very different.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we really enjoyed having you on, Jace. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well.
I did, and I'm
Totally.
glad I had to show you guys some neat stuff and other things. But
so make sure
that was fun.
Check out scribe.monster, right? That's the
Yeah, I mean, if for nothing else, just the AMA feature. If you just want to like access, because like sometimes you can't get into the OpenAI beta background.
Yeah.
So like this just gets around that because you're just using the API.
That is nice because I think it's just an easier to click on an extension and ask it something than to go to the website, log in again. So
right. And I like I said, I'm figuring out the uses, like how long, like how much it's gonna end up, because it's really inexpensive. Like I want to say when I looked at it before, because it's only been up for like 2 weeks, I think I'm at like $8 spend, and 4 of that was me messing with fine tuning.
And after today's show, he'll be up to $8.25.
I mean, that would be 25 cents. 22 cents on the most expensive DaVinci text codex gives you 1,000 tokens. And 1,000 tokens, remember I said it was about 4 characters. So 4,000 times 25. No, wait, 12 and a half would be what that would cost me.
Well, we pasted that JSON payload in a lot.
I mean, it did.
No, I mean all our viewers. We're gonna go out there and start using his.
I would need 50,000 characters sent to and from, approximately, to cost me 25 cents.
Dorian's like, where can I find 50,000 characters real quick?
I restrict how much you can send up.
Yeah.
I guess I don't need an EMA feature, but I will.
Is it also on Firefox? Do you have plans to move it to Firefox?
Somebody already asked me that. I tried to do the easy convert, but Firefox needs some ID with the manifest v3, and I don't know how to generate that. So if anybody knows or wants to help me,
did you ask ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did, and it didn't answer me in a way that was helpful.
Oh,
I could be asking it the wrong way. I don't know enough about the words. I don't know the language on Chrome and Firefox extensions.
Just Google. Just ping Arnud. He's done it, right?
Hey, somebody else did it for him. I don't know if you knew that story.
I love it. That's so great.
I know the story because I was around when it happened.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. Well, find that person. Cool. Well, thanks for having. Thanks for coming on, and everyone, holidays are coming around, so buy your kids Christmas presents and don't tell them what they are. Cool. If you like this content, subscribe, ping Jon. He loves hearing from you. So
yep. You can find me at jace.pro. Feel free to shoot me a message on LinkedIn or Slack or wherever you can find my name.
Awesome.
Discord.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys later.